Hello, two things were happening on this day in previous years which have a link for me. Uh, on this day in 2005, the papal conclave was trying to decide who was going to be the next pope, and Joseph Ratzinger was one of the cardinals who was making that decision, and he eventually was chosen and became pope the next day. One of the notable events of his time as Pope was his visit to Auschwitz. And as a German Pope visiting a place where his countrymen had caused such terrible things to happen, it was clearly a very painful thing for him to do. And he said in describing his experience there, to speak in this place of horror is almost impossible. In a place like this, words fail. There is only stupefied silence and a cry to God. And I think that's often our reaction to events that we hear about, things that are happening in the world, which are caused by us human beings. A stupefied silence. There is nothing really one can say in response to some of the pain, some of the horror that there is in our world today. But I do also think that sometimes silence is an appropriate response to some of the wonderful things that are happening. When we see somebody behaving really lovingly and forgivingly and with great dignity, or when we look around us at the extraordinary world that God has made for us, sometimes there is nothing we can really say that can adequately express the wonder of it all. Stupefied silence. The other thing that happened on this day, this time in 1294, was that Meister Eckhart preached a sermon on Easter Sunday in his local church in Paris. He was somebody about whom we know very little. We don't actually know when he was born or indeed when he died. We do have, though, this event. This is the first time his name actually appears in any historical document, so that on this day Master Eckhart, so to speak, enters history. And one of the things he says intrigues me. He says, if the only prayer you ever pray is thank you, that will suffice. And I think that the notion of being just filled with gratitude, otherwise being lost for words, is a very appropriate human response to the world around us. Yes, so much that is around us is horrific, but also so much of around us is wonderful and beautiful, and only word that we can really use for it is thank you. And apart from that, I think Cardinal Ratzinger, Pope Benedict, is right. Nothing but stupefied silence will really do.